Today's lesson, Lesson 82, Graphing Equations Using Intercepts. In the past, we have graphed equations using the slope-intercept form. This is a much easier way to graph equations. First, you have to understand what an intercept is. If I have an xy coordinate system, I have my x-axis and my y-axis. I'll have lines that cross through this xy coordinate system. Let's say that this is 3, and that's 4. I put a dot at each one of those. If I draw a line through those dots, the x-intercept would be 3 and the y-intercept would be 4. The intercept is where the line intercepts the axis. Intercepts means where it crosses. The line crosses the x-axis at 3. It crosses the y-axis at 4. So its x-intercept is 3 and its y-intercept is 4. So now that you understand what an intercept is, we're going to use intercepts in graphing equations. Let's look at our first example. Our first example is 3x plus 4y is equal to 12. Notice that this equation is different from the other equations that we've seen graphing before. This equation is written in standard form. Standard form. Standard form is where the x and the y are on the same side of the equal sign. If they were not on the same side of the equal sign, you would make it so that they were on the same side of the equal sign and then continue the process. How we find the intercepts is we first let x equal 0 and solve for y. So we look at our equation, which is 3x plus 4y equals 12. And where the x is, I'm going to put a 0. Recognizing that this is multiplying. When I multiply 3 times 0, I get 0 and it goes away. And I have 4y is equal to 12. Dividing both sides by 4, I get y is equal to 3. Second, I let y equal to 0. And then I solve for x. So I have 3x plus 4y equals 12. And this time, instead of having a y, we're going to put a 0. We're going to substitute 0 in for y. When we do that, and we're multiplying, it's always going to go away. And I'll get 3x is equal to 12. Dividing both sides by 3, I get x is equal to 4. Putting that on my xy coordinate system, on my x-axis, I find 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I put a dot. On my y-axis, I find 3. 1, 2, 3. And I put a dot. And then I connect them. And my line is graphed. Isn't that simple? You should be able to do this using mental math. All of this work is really unnecessary if you can just use your brain. Mental math means use your brain. Let's see. First, we let x equal 0. When we let x equal 0, this term goes away. And then you'll see 4y equals 12. You can do that in your head. Divide both sides by 4. Then you let y equal 0, which means this term goes away. You have 3x, which is equal to 12. You can do that in your head. dividing both sides by 3, you can get x is equal to 4. See if you can't use mental math on the next equation. 2x equals 3y plus 6. Well, as I stated earlier, if you get something that is not in standard form, you must first put it in standard form. This is not in standard form because the x and the y are not on the same side of the equal sign. So I have to take this 3x first of all and put it to the other side. How do I do that? By making it a negative 3y. Negative 3y. And I then get 2x minus 3y is equal to 6. Now I let x equal 0. When I let x equal 0, this term goes away. Can you use mental math to figure out what y is? Y is equal to negative 2. 6 divided negative 3 is negative 2. Then cover up the y part. 2x equals 6. So then we go 6 divided by 2 to get x is equal to 3. Putting that on my xy coordinate system, I have x is equal to 3. You got to remember which one is my x-axis and which one is my y-axis. There's my x. Find 3. 1, 2, 3. On my y-axis, I find negative 2, which means it's below the x-axis. 1, 2. And then connect them. And that's the line. Really pretty easy.